Hi everybody, this is Angel Arts and welcome to yet another video showcasing a candidate for the upcoming Dragon Age Season 2 campaign. We have here today the Sylphwyn. Say hello, Sylph.
Hello, everybody.
And we are going to kick off, we're just going to dive right into it. So, Sylphwyn, my first question for you is, what is it about the Dragon Age universe that interests you?
Character. It's always been character. Way back when my boyfriend first got Origins, I have my City of Heroes MMORPG, thanks. But as he kept playing, I stopped paying attention to my supergroup and who's that? He's cute. Who's he? Who are you? Oh, you're romancing the redhead. Oh, Liliana. Okay, what's she? And come Monday, when my fiance went back to work and I was at home by myself, well, I'm just going to boot it up. I was playing until he came home at 5 o'clock that night. So it's always just been the characters for me. And even in 2 and 3 and all the expansions and all the books and movies, I have pretty much ingested all the media except for the volumes of Thetis. It's always been the characters.
My second question is, what is it about tabletop gaming or role-playing that interests you?
Well, role-playing from my storyboard days was, I want to make a character, and I want to see what that character will do that surprises me. Is she going to break my heart? Am I going to break hers? Like, for example, take Maximilian. Early game, would you believe he could ever kill a child? No, obviously not. And then you get the scene with Connor, and yeah, that broke his character, but he came back stronger and better. And you're able to tell an amazing story. Tabletop, I do not have experience in, but I'm looking forward to the challenge of it, because yes, I'm a writer, but that's solo. You do everything by yourself, and here, okay, I have to be on the ball. I have to be involved. I only got one take.
Next question. Why do you believe that you would be a good person for others to play with?
I want to be everyone's cheerleader. I want to come out of here with 4 new best friends. From my time with the storyboard, I'm sorry I keep going back to it, but it is my experience. I know how to be a main character, but I also understand we're an ensemble. We're all main characters. There's not the main character.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope to bring that to the table.
What do you believe is your biggest weakness as a player, and how do you plan on overcoming/improving that weakness?
I am a little bit of a stickler. I need to do my homework. I need to be organized. And when other people aren't, or if people are late, it's more, come on, guys, I want to have the best time. And I do my homework. This is notes on everyone in the competition and what they're rolling. I know it's subject to change, but it's just how my mind works. And I am trying to get better about it. And if I ever get to the point of stop it, you're being annoying, or just stop, it's okay to tell me. I will not take it personally. I know this is just how I am.
That's good to know. That's very good to know. And then the last question I have is, I think a bit of a fun question. Pick any event or situation that took place in Dragon Age Season 1. How would your character have handled that situation differently or similarly?
Oh, this was a really good question, because the first thing that popped into my head was, oh, there was a drinking contest. What episode was that in? Look. Oh, Season 12, episode part 3. But then as I was listening to it back so I could start taking my notes, because like I said, I do my homework, I found the scene before it with Liam. It's like, oh, if my character is being a healer/warrior, she would care about this. Plus, she would not get what is the issue. The gods have spoken through our shaman. We have a cure. What are we waiting on? Let's cure him. And out of character, it's like, no, down, Rovas. They handled it right in game, but in character, no, this already took one of my patients. It's not going to take another person. We can fix this. The gods gave us an answer. Andraste is supposed to be some sort of mercy goddess. I don't know. You people never told me what she was the goddess of. So, cure, use, ta-da! Then let's go drink.
Okay, cool. So that's it with the out of character portion. So now we're going to move on to the in character portion. the Sylphwind decided to select Plim, one of my personal favorites. I love Plim. So
Oh, we all.
he's great, and I love his backstory too. It's just such a tragic
Mhm.
backstory. Oh,
Yeah.
Plim has yet to find true love. Just put throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there, season 2 people.
I'm
Um,
auditioning. I'm trying.
so Plim, as you know, based on the epilogue, is acting as the personal bodyguard to the Viscount family, especially now that there are children involved. Well, a child for right now, Nathan, and of course Jody, the Viscount's wife, and we're gonna have a hypothetical situation where your character, Plim, is looking for an apprentice to sort of take over for him as bodyguard. Maybe the Viscount needs him in the front lines to do something else for the time being, and he's basically trying to find someone to take his place, I guess, or at least could take his place at a moment's notice. And so you found out that this position is available, and he personally will be interviewing you for this position. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So you are brought into the Viscount's estate, as massive and grand as it is. It's probably one of the fanciest, schmanciest places you might have ever come into. And they will take you over to an office of sorts, and the guards will, like I said, escort you there. And there, behold, is a rather large werewolf with gentle eyes. You probably are familiar with who this person is, especially because of his involvement in the events of 5 years prior. So this should not come to a surprise to you. I will give you the opportunity to speak first if you like. Otherwise, he will speak first when you see him.
So you're him, you're Plim. Our skalds sing the tales of you and your friends. It's an honor to meet you, sir.
Plim says, "Seems like that's what everybody calls me these days. You're him. You are, I believe." He's like shuffling through some papers, and it's really hard for him because of his hands, his claws. Rovas. Is that right? Is that how you pronounce that?
Indeed.
Rovas.
Yes.
Pleased to meet you, he says, and he gets up out of his table, and
The pleasure is all mine.
he raises an eyebrow a little bit with that as he's shaking your hand, and he says, "Yes, well, have a seat, please."
Thank you. She goes and sits down.
So it almost seems like he lost his train of thought. Whatever you did, it sort of got him a little bit disoriented. How are you carrying yourself right now? I'm just curious how your character is carrying
She is
herself.
very sexually and confident. She has sat down, she's crossed her legs. She's ready.
She's done her homework. She knows how to.
Yes. She has wanted to meet him for quite some time. She's heard good things.
Plim
Later,
is
I can give you a list.
Plim is sort of pulling on his the fur on his collar a little bit, as if that would help, but it's not going to, because the fur is just attached to his chest. And he says, "Okay, so you're from, was it Ferelden you're from?"
Yes, Eagle Reach Hold, the best hold. One of the few actually left standing.
I have to admit, we don't get very many people from Ferelden these days. May I ask, if you don't mind, what exactly did you and your people do to survive the Blight for so long?
What we had to. We fought, and we kept fighting. It was our home. We were not going to lay down and die.
What was your main contribution to that?
In the beginning, I mostly stayed close to the hold walls, shooting arrows, anything that came close enough. As more time went by and more of our warriors died, I was put more and more into the front lines.
I see.
Basic unit sword warriors sort of thing.
Hmm.
Behind the scenes, I helped my father in the clinics when I could, but sometimes you just need to sleep.
What's your weapon of choice?
Ugh, do you not see lovely on my back? Two-handed sword, obviously.
I figured, he says. I figured. Just making sure. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of two-handers, he says with a grin.
Really, I do like a man that's good with his hands.
Next question, he says, looking again a little bit more flustered than he normally is, which is kind of strange for him because he tends to be very confident. So when a female is out flirting him, that takes him. He's not used to that, and you can tell he's not used to that. Whether or not that's the intention of your character or not.
She only gets one shot at meeting him.
He then asks, I understand then that you of the Avaar. Could you explain to me what do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions of your people, and could you explain correct that misconception for me?
That we're barbarians and savages. We're not. Our culture's just different. I mean, to me, it makes no sense that your women paint their faces. We only paint our faces when we go to war. And your women do that on the daily? How is that normal? It just seems so weird. And then they paint them red, but not with the blood of their enemies. Makes no sense.
You know, you've got a good point. I've always wondered that myself, he says, rubbing his chin. Your den, what do they call those den animals, den creatures?
Oh, hold beasts.
Hold beasts. Who's your hold beast? It's not a wolf by any chance, he asks, leaning forward.
No, Mephen. Sorry, Mephen. It's an eagle. Gorgeous and glorious.
Oh, a bird. Okay, birds are fine. Eagles are.
Yes.
I've got nothing against eagles. They just,
Well, I'd hope not.
birds are not always the best for my fur, he says as he.
Oh, well, that's sad. I'd rather hope you'd ruffle some feathers someday.
He's like getting very, very uncomfortable, but you believe in a good way, getting very uncomfortable. And this is really interesting. I'm not used to having Plim like meaning his match. This is very
Thank you.
This is very exciting. He then asks you, so this position, as you understand, is meant to watch over the Viscount family. What is your experience with children?
None? But I have healer skills, so if anything were to happen, I could take care of him.
Okay, well, that works. Just keep in mind, if you've never been tasked to watch over a human child before, I'm just warning you that they can be even more frightening than an archdemon. Let me tell you that. I've got the rubber bands to prove it, he says, as he trails
Aw.
away a little bit.
I'm sure it's adorable.
He means well. He is adorable. Then he continues on and says, do you have any questions for me? Just out of curiosity.
What kind of child is the Viscount's son? Nathan or Nathaniel? Forgive me, the name escapes me. It's been a long journey here.
Nathan.
Nathan, okay.
He said he's just turned. I'll say that he's just turned 4. Curious kid, sweet kid. Likes to get into trouble though. Well, because of how curious he is. But very playful, friendly.
There are worse traits.
And he is, between you and me, he's an amazing chick magnet. Between you and me.
Oh, you don't Donham, you shouldn't need a magnet, puppy.
Well, I appreciate that, he says. So, just out of curiosity, if you end up not getting chosen, are you gonna be hanging around
For a
somewhere?
while.
Okay, I
I'll
just
be in town.
curious.
I'll be in town for a while, but if I don't get this, then I need to move on. I want to earn my legend mark, and I want to grow my legend.
Of course, I understand. All right. Well, Miss Rovas, thank you very much for your time. We'll definitely be in touch, he says
Touch
softly.
is good. It was very nice to meet you.
It was the pleasure. The pleasure was all mine, my lady. Believe me, the pleasure was all mine, he says, rapidly, like nodding his head. I've never seen Plim put in that position before. That was very awesome. That was very awesome for him.
Hey,
He
Rovas
found
would kill me if I didn't do this.
someone, definitely gave him the run for his money, I have to say.
My name is Rovas Anya's Dalton, O Eagle Reach. I'm of two worlds. From my mother's side, have been taught to hold my heritage as firmly as I hold my weapon. From my father's elven side, his culture and ways have slipped through his fingers, but his hands are open. They're the hands of a healer. They want to heal. By picking me, you're getting a warrior plus a healer, someone who can stand and fight and kill, or who afterwards can mend you and then let's go for drinks.